Hello everybody, congratulations, you have successfully reached Rub-a-dub. Obviously I'm your host, anyone else on the screen, it's pretty simple. Today is the beautiful 4th day of January, Wednesday, 2012. Not getting used to saying that. All you first time viewers, back wherever you are, we got a show for you. Story number 1. I live in Canada. We all know that. I'm a subject of the Queen. I am forever under her rule. Her face is on my bloody penny. Actually, her face is on all my money. Come to think of it, can't get away from the Queen. No matter where I go, I see the Queen. Not a great thing. Which is why I don't really like the monarchy. There was a story, day after New Year's Eve, lo and behold, lady's walking her dog, and next thing she knows, she sees a dead body. But not just your average dead body, oh no sirree Bob, on the beautiful, elegant Sandringham estate, which has a house and it's royalty, acres and acres and acres, la-dee-da. Police aren't releasing a lot of information so that they can basically do their investigation better. But what I actually have obtained, it's a young female, 13 to 29 maybe, and she was dead. Anywhere between a month and 4 months, the body was supposedly there for. Now what makes this story ever so interesting? In the last 3 months that a body has been found near the royal residence, Robert Moore, a 69-year-old American whose remains were discovered at St. James Park, not in Toronto where the Occupy movement, in London, 100 yards from Buckingham Palace, was a royal obsessive who had written hundreds of letters to the Queen before he moved to Britain. His body lay undiscovered for 3 years after the death. Thus far, nothing is known about why the murdered young woman was so close to the royal home. Police do not know if she was killed elsewhere and left on the property of Sandringham, or if she was murdered within the yards of the royal household. I would love to get some scandal going, you know, just to make it really seem interesting. Maybe dethroning of the Queen. I don't want to give her a heart attack. I know she's old and she's celebrating her 60th anniversary of being on the throne. Give me a little bit of like royal blood somewhere near the scene. Just a tiny drop. Next thing you know, oh, we have a match. And the match could be like, I would love for it to be actually Prince Philip, but it wouldn't be so interesting if it was like Kate, especially Pippa. She wouldn't do anything like this. Will, he's a straight arrow. Prince Harry, Story number 2. We all love Japan, right? And I seem to talk about it a hell of a lot. Japan reportedly has paid Fujitsu $2.1 million to build a self-replicating assassin squad, a computer virus. It can set loose in the network and track down and eliminate other viruses. There is such a thing called Stuxnet and Dooku. Obviously, I'm not a computer whiz, hence why I'm using a webcam. These are cyber weapons, so potent, they were actually called the hydrogen bomb of cyber warfare. Stuxnet was just the beginning. Self-replicating code is an important part of any national arsenal. The Japanese are just getting started. The cyber defense tool will be able to actually infiltrate and attack the source of the virus, along the way disabling it and collecting key information, such as a tool for escalating cyber warfare. And we all know that these defensive cyber tools are a necessity for any nation, not just Japan. But are good viruses necessarily a genius idea for cyber warfare? What about if you had like a renegade virus running loose from computer to one big conglomerate to another business to everywhere, where you could couldn't stop it? All these programs, including viruses, contain bugs. And these bugs can have unintentional and damaging consequences. How do I say this? I have the biggest fear that this is going to blow up in all of our faces and could possibly lead to something that wasn't really intended in the first place. I am not trying to make you guys all scary, but if you get a chance, I want you to rent an awesome movie from 1991. Pretty sure it's 1991. Terminator 2 Judgment Day. By far, Cyber9 was basically trying to do this, and then this gave the machines the capability of self-awareness, i.e., it gave them artificial intelligence. Now, before you guys start thinking I'm single-handedly just poking on the chest of Japan here and just pointing them out, I'm pretty sure other countries have attempted to launch their own programs. They just haven't been as successful as Japan has so far. So then again, kudos to Japan for being excellent at possibly making computers everywhere a little bit less enjoyable. Story number 3. So, did everyone watch the Iowa caucuses on Tuesday? Huh? It was must-see TV. Now seriously, Iowa caucuses are probably the most boring 2 hours of television I've ever watched. She's like staring like a deer in the headlights, almost like she's seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm not trying to bash her, but when I see her, I really miss Sarah Palin. At least Sarah Palin was half decent to look at. This woman is an Iowa native, and she got 5%. Now, I know there was like a tie, and there were only 8 votes that separated Rick Santorum and Mitt Romney. Michele Bachmann, I gotta hand it to you. You don't have any such concept of the home field advantage. Whatever you do, stay suspended. Do not try to run for vice president. And by all means, don't slander other people just because you're spiteful. Story number 4. These are things that make you go, Michael Jordan. He basically is now living 20 miles north of Palm Beach. Beautiful place up in Florida. Jupiter Island, 3,700 square feet, over $7.5 million he paid for it. It's just gorgeous. 10-foot tall ceilings, a giant fireplace, grand stairway, 11 bedrooms. This place even has an elevator. What else is the majority owner for the Charlotte Bobcats supposed to do? Now we got the NBA Hall of Famer, probably hands down the best player ever, playing golf at a club called the Bear Club. We're not talking about Church Street Bear Club. We're not talking about San Francisco All-Star Bear Club. We're not talking about hairy guys. In case you were wondering what San Francisco and Church Street mean. Big, fat, hairy guys. We're not talking about that type of bear club. We're talking about some elite, kind of royal elitism, kind of Gwyneth Paltrow elitism you see in Palm Beach. Now, I'm just talking about Michael Jordan. We've had numerous complaints, supposedly, to the Bear Club that Michael Jordan has been leaving his half-smoked cigars dashed and butted all over the greens. He has his posse. Now I'm going to get back to the posse. He has his posse being all boisterous and lollygagging and having a good old time at the expense of other people that aren't in his posse. Now what I notice about it makes me go, about this whole thing, is why is it when a black celebrity has a lot of people around him, friends, family, hanger-ons, leeches, people that claim to be your cousin, but really, why are these people called a posse? But when you have, i.e., the HBO show Entourage, he was a rich person, but he had a bunch of hanger-ons. Why do they call that an entourage? You don't see the show called Posse. No, it's called Entourage. It sounds a little debonair if you put a little bit of French twist in it. Wonder how they just manipulate the words and then kind of make it sound worse than it actually is. Poor Michael. And that's all we have for today. Thank you for tuning in. You've been doing with the best. And as always, keep on rocking in the free world. At least while it's still free.